Well, I can tell you one good thing that's coming out of all of this time at home. We're doing kind of a light self-quarantine. We're still able to do business locally and keep distance. My husband is down the road getting a load of sand. Because of what's going on in the world today, we're having to borrow a battery from the Dodge for the backhoe, and it just works great because we switched everything over to matching post hookups or stud hookups, whichever it is. But he's already gone this morning and got his first load of sand. We worked on this quite a bit yesterday. We got out the dump truck. It's been parked in the back in storage. He hooked up his dirt mover to the back of the 730 and he cleared all the mud and the muck out of the driveway, and he dragged it right out here to the field to help the situation dry up. We've had flood warnings for the last 2 days amidst everything else that's going on. And for several months we've been waiting for more sand and gravel from the neighbor. Well, it turns out his dump truck has been down. So we got our own out so we can get it filled in. Now, I'm not real sure how many yards our dump truck holds. He's going to bring in a whole bunch here to fill in all of the low spots and all of my drainage fails. You might remember that I made a video a while ago. We dug a trench from the garage over to here, and all this area flooded really bad. So for the whole winter, we've been having a hard time. It's been a warm, wet winter, not a lot of freezes. And this water just kept on going. This is our main secondary drive, and we've wanted to get this built up. Now this is his like trucking driveway. The asphalt driveway can't hold the weight of all the trucks, and all the water drips off of all of this. And this is the lane that goes around the back of the barn, all the way up there and up to the woods. There's a creek down that way, and there's a river beyond the woods, and all the water wants to drain this way. So he's decided he's going to bring in a whole lot of extra gravel, but we've got to get these low spots built up with several loads of sand before we start. He's just pulling in now with the auto car dump truck with another full load. I'll have to ask him how many he's going to bring, but I can imagine it's going to be quite a bit. This entire north side of the driveway floods badly because everything runs downhill to here. You can see that's real deep and real wet where he's at right now. We're very fortunate. The neighbor that has the gravel pit is within a mile. He got the truck out yesterday and did a little work. He said he had 3 broken front studs on a wheel. He greased the whole thing, cleaned all the leaves out of the dump box so that it wouldn't get all mixed into the sand and make a slimy mess. How many yards is this? He says this is 12 yards of sand. And how many loads you gonna get?
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We can haul quite a few and still stay out of our own way.
Yeah. We weren't supposed to get any rain today. It's kind of unfortunate. I can see some little boys getting into this sand pile pretty quick. Everybody's up. Trey got up early today so he could go for a ride. You like going down to the gravel pit?
Yeah.
Good. Trey's our worker guy. He gets up early to go do things. I thought some other things were going on today, but I think the other things are going to happen a little bit later, huh? So, I mentioned about bartering. Bartering with the neighbors. I'll even barter with people who've contacted me through Facebook. You want some straw? Bring me some eggs. I don't have any chickens right now. I don't think there's any reason to be hard-nosed about things or to be tough on people. I think everyone's in a hard time right now. He's built up a good relationship with this neighbor, and he's worked out a trade for some grease and lubricants for some stone. Yeah, your tires are squatting. He says this is a pretty heavy load. I'd say that's a pretty good trade. So he wants to spread it out a little bit. This area gets so wet and bad, some of it'll go that way. I don't think anything's been ever added to this, but it's been the farm lane since before we bought the farm. But the farm was leased out for cropland for years. So the lane was only ever either used by somebody hunting, going back to the woods for maple syrup years ago. But that area, that's getting the treatment. It is so wet and so messy. That's a nice way to do it. It's all downhill and it's all total slime from all the runoff of all the water trying to go to that creek. The whole farm, from about the end of the barn to just past the bees, slopes down that way, and everything from this sand hill up here goes down to there. Lots of water. Drainage is always a problem. And it all likes to accumulate right here, and then we get stuck. Well, he got all hooked up, and he's spreading it out with his smoother. It's actually called the soil mover. I referred to it as the dirt mover. We've been doing some field work, so this was a good time to do this because we've driven all over this, and we've had rain on and off for probably the last 2 weeks. When we started the project, in the front section of the driveway, we had a ton of rain and had to move all that mud and water, and he was able to use this to pull it all out into the field and spread it out. It's all just mud, but it's like liquid manure. It's so thick and so slurry-like. So this stone will really help a lot here. It's not a big, thick layer. I don't know how much he actually got. We were definitely on the winning end for this barter. It's always important to remember that you have more to barter than you think. You may not have goods to barter, but like we have skills to barter, we have time. Sometimes it's just labor. Sometimes it's the loan of equipment or tools. In this case, The guy needed tubes of grease. So he got enough grease to use for a while, and we got a road. He says it was 15 yards for his load. So I think this is pretty good. I'm not used to walking on it, and it's not all packed down yet, but he put it real heavy here and heavy at the curve where it's so slimy all the time, and then lighter on the way up. So he said we'll get another load another day to be able to go from the end of the barn to meet up to the front section of the driveway where it's so wet up there. I'd much rather have a customer pull right up to here to unload out of it, but this area is so wet, and then that it's just too hard to try, and then this is just so wet that it's just too hard to try to get somebody up here and risk them getting stuck, because the Dodge isn't going to get him out, and if he's not around to start up a tractor, I can't do it. But look at what a huge difference this has made to what was just a total sloppy mess. It's doing a lot better. He's got this area here already all smoothed out. I'll show you the finished job when we got it all done. It's okay. Hang on. Are you having chain troubles? I guess you need to be. I have to share with you the beauty of this morning. We got the rest of this field done yesterday. Within a half hour of me finishing the disking, it started to sprinkle a little bit. Those clouds moved off and some dark thunderstorm clouds moved in. There was a lightning strike so close to the house that it literally shook the headboard and made it bang the back of my head when I was sitting up reading a book. But look at this wonderful driveway. This is what I wanted to show you. The one little spot you can see right here. He wants to still bring in some more for here. But this was all the gravel we had on hand. So that water all here got leveled out. Just a little bit washed. Ooh, there's worm trails everywhere. Look at that. The spiders were real busy this morning too. So we got this little area here that's collecting water, and the water is dripping off of the back side of the trailer, making that area wet. And the one spot on the lane gets really wet too. But look at this. This whole thing all the way to the post out of the road was just a huge natural pond. Just a little bit of wet. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but he added probably 18 to 24 inches of the overall depth, not including like deep spots right here where it was so filled in. But you can see some of the water kind of migrates here and collects on the side. It probably rained total about an hour, hour and a half last night. There was some different thunderstorms that went through at different times over about a 4-hour period, but it is high and dry, and all this is soft. So we did take on quite a bit of rain because we were driving right through here the day before. Ooh, we are getting it. he's thinking his next project might be to put a culvert under the driveway. I think it'd be better to put drain tile out to the ditch. Just let it drain out that way, not tear up the driveway. But yeah, we've still got that low spot there. It's doing wonderful. Just got to get some topsoil from that neighbor guy filling these lower spots. So that's it for that, everybody. I hope today finds you well, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. It looks like the moon. It's so weird, but it's the sun trying to get through. There's just so much dense fog today.